Hello, and welcome to the second tutorial in the Visual Basic Tutorials section. Now, in this second tutorial, we're going to be covering variables. So if you're aware of what variables are already, then feel free to skip on. But I'm going to go into a little bit of detail now just to explain what variables are and how they're going to be useful in your programs. So picking up from last time, I've removed the code that we wrote the Hello World program. And now I'm going to just begin by showing you what a variable is. So a variable, in essence, is just something that stores a value. So it could be a number, it could be a series of letters, it could be a date, it could be anything. And a variable is able to store them, and then you're able to use them at a later date. Now, when you tend to write code, you write your variables up at the top. So you say you declare them, what you want them to be. And in order to declare a variable, you have to write dim. And then you write the variable name. So let's call this variable. I don't know yet. As. And then you set a data type. Now a data type can be things such as string, integer, double, single. And the data type defines what the variable is going to be, what data it's going to hold. So if we define it as an integer, then that variable is able to hold whole numbers, integer values. If we dim it as a double, it's able to hold decimal values. And if we dim it as a string, it's able to hold values that contain letters and numbers and spaces. So we'll get rid of that for now, and we're going to make something that adds two numbers together. It's very simple. So we'll dim num1 as integer, and we'll dim num2 as integer, and we'll dim an answer as an integer as well. Now we could use double, but as we're just going to add two whole numbers together, this is just fine for what we want to do. So this is how you create your variables, and you want to do that. You probably end up doing that at the start of every single program that you write, and that's basically how you do that. So just to show how you use them now, we want to add number 1 and number 2 together. So first of all, you have to say what the value is of these variables. As you can see, they're underlined in green here, which shows that they currently don't have a value or they're unused. So to say we want to add a value to num1, we'll write num1, which is the variable name, equals, which means assign num1 a value, and then a number. Let's say 10. And next line. So now num1, as you can see there, it's not underlined green anymore because it's been given a value and it's been used. And we then can say num2 equals 50. Press enter, and we've assigned that. Now answer is still underlined. We'll give answer. We don't need to, but it's always good practice to say what they are. Answer, sir equals 0. So that's setting the variables for what they are. Now let's say we want to add num1 and num2 together. We can use simple operators such as plus, minus, times, and divide. Now you're obviously very familiar with plus and minus, but when you write code, you write the asterisk symbol. Never mind. You write the asterisk symbol, which is shift and 8, and the forward slash symbol. And the asterisk is a times, and forward slash is a divide. I'll remove that because that will do nothing. So now let's say add number 1 and number 2 together. And it's simply like algebra at school. You write answer equals num1 plus num2. Enter. And now answer is equal to num1, 10, plus num2, 50. Now let's just save this and run it and see what happens. If it's actually going to do this. I'm hoping it does. There we go, very slow for some reason, and nothing happens. And that's because we've not actually written anything to the screen. So now we're going to want to actually write the answer to the screen. And in the last tutorial we covered how to do that. It's a simple console.writeLine, and then instead of putting the speech marks, we just write the variable that we want to put onto the screen. Answer. Next line. Now that will write the answer 60 to the screen. And as we counted last lesson, in the last tutorial, sorry, it will flash up and go away if we don't put a pause there. Console read line. I'm now going to save and run. Hopefully it'll run a bit faster this time. There we go. And there's our answer, 60. Now, say for instance we change the plus to the times, so an apostrophe. Sorry, an asterisk. Run that. And we get 500. And you can continue to do that or play around with that yourself if you wish. You can try divide or minus, and you can try different numbers as well. And there we go. We've briefly outlined what a variable is, how you can assign a variable a value, and how you can add, divide, times, or do various other things with variables. And as covered in the previous lesson, you can write them to the screen. So that's it for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed that and found it useful, obviously. Subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and I'll be uploading the third tutorial very shortly. Thank you very much for watching.